Misyar marriage, which is allowed in Islam. Misyar means التنازل عن بعض الحقوق, that a woman steps down from parts of her rights. It's allowed. Misyar is not mut'ah, where the man is trying to get married, you see, and then get divorced after 2 days, and then they put it in the contract. You see, that's not. There's a difference. People get these words confused. Misyar is when you get married, and then for example, if it's ta'addud, if it's polygamy, then it's not an even nights. It's not even nights. This shows you that Islam is trying to create a situation where every type of person can be married and find a spouse. That's what Islam is trying to do. It wants to keep people away from zina. It wants to facilitate all kinds of marriages. You've got polygamy, you've got misyar polygamy, you've got non-misyar polygamy. And the asl is non-misyar polygamy. In fact, it has to be equal. That's the asl. But some life situations don't allow such a thing. So, Islam has opened the door for something else. You see, yes.
What do you mean by stepping down from her rights? Do you mean that the wife would see the husband one day a week or something like this instead of the whole 7 days a week? Or is that just an example? As
an example, if you have two wives, right, what would have to happen is that you'd have to split the nights equally, not the days, by the way.
Okay.
You'd have to split the nights equally, yeah? So you can do that in a multiplicity of different ways. You can do 3 nights, 4 nights, 4 nights, 3 nights. You can do 5, whatever. You can decide the structure, so long as it's even. That's the asl. Whereas misyar now, the situation happens is that, say one of the wives, say the second wife, for the sake of argument, she comes and says, okay, I don't need you to come for all the nights, for all the 3 nights or 4 nights, so they're equal. You can come for 1 night or 2 nights, for the sake of argument. Now, it has to come from her. She has to agree to this. You can't force that upon her. Do you get it? You can't say, okay, well, you have to do that. And what can happen is the following. Like a man can marry a woman, and that could be the agreement. And then she can decide, no, I don't want this no more. Now, if she decides, I don't want this no more, all the scholars of Islam says that he has to give her equal rights. All the scholars of Islam say that. The only way he can get out of that is by divorcing her. Say, I can't facilitate, and this is going to end the marriage.
What about non-polygamous marriage? What does that look like with Misyar?
I mean,
what rights would she?
She can still give up her rights. To have a right means you can give it up. So you can say, for example, like in the case of a man and a woman, yeah, and her right is to be given provision, right? She can say, okay, well, I'm going to help you out with the daily, with the monthly wages. She can decide to do that. It's within a woman's rights to do that. She doesn't need to do that, but it's her decision. So if, for example, you've got a 2-person household, they're both working, like a man and a woman are working, right? If a man and a woman are working, and they both agreed on that because the bills are so high, so long as the woman agreed to that, no one should blame them. And then the question really was, well, what about housework now? Do you give the woman the double burden or not? Well, if the man is agreeing, then there's more flexibility on the issues of housework now. Because if she's doing a role that's not hers, then it's more expected that he does a role that's not his.
Etiquette.
Do you see what I mean? If your wife is doing a role that's not hers, it's more expected for you to do a role that's not yours. But the more you do a role that's yours, the less expected it would be for her to do a role that's not hers. Should be clear. So that is the story of Safiya bint Huyay.